for Calgary Nose Hill.
Yesterday, the Globe and Mail reported that the government dropped specific COVID-19 screenings for travelers from Brazil, even while the P1 variant spreads throughout British Columbia. They also reported the health minister's office declined to explain why the extra screening was scrubbed. Her spokesperson directed the Globe and Mail to the Federal Public Health Agency, which did not provide comment. So why has the government dropped specific COVID-19 screening for travelers from Brazil?
Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. And listen, Canada has among the strongest measures in the world at the border. Every traveler, no matter where they come from, is subject to testing on arrival. Then the traveler must wait in a government-approved hotel until the return of their test. Every traveler must further quarantine until the return of their 10-day test and their 14-day quarantine is over. And all positive tests are sequenced by our hard-working National Microbiology Lab folks. And of course, we will stop at nothing to protect Canadians.
The honourable member for Calgary Nose Hill.
So is the minister saying that the reason why the specific COVID-19 screening for travelers from Brazil is because she feels that the other measures that they have in place is adequate and that there was no additional public health benefit to having the additional screening measures in place?
Honourable Minister.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I'll just repeat, we have amongst the strongest measures in the world at our border. In fact, everything that we have added has created a situation where we are protecting Canadians from the importation of COVID. We are being able to track and sequence any positive cases. I will take this moment to congratulate the National Microbiology Lab during this National Week of Celebration of Laboratory Workers. And I will also say, Mr. Speaker, every traveler must quarantine for 14 days, regardless of which country they are arriving from. Mr. Speaker, we will continue to monitor our border, to protect against importation, and to support the provinces and territories in their fight against COVID-19.
For Calgary Nose Hill.
So if the minister is saying that the measures that were put in place prior to the additional screening being put in place were sufficient, then would she say that they put in place additional screening that had no additional public health outcome? And if so, why?
The Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I know that the member opposite has not been a fan of the mandatory measures that we've put into place at the border. In fact, she has spoken out against them on her social media channels. But I will tell you this, they serve an important purpose, Mr. Speaker. They protect Canadians from the importation of the virus. Every step of the way, Mr. Speaker, we have responded to science. We've been led by our incredible scientists and researchers. We'll continue to do that, Mr. Speaker, to support the provinces and territories and indeed protect Canadians' health.
The third wave of COVID-19 is hitting hard. Times are difficult. During the third wave, it's time for paying taxes. People still need access to their benefits, and we need to help people. My question is this: will the Prime Minister commit to giving people more time to fill out their tax returns, as was done last year? The Honourable Minister.
Monsieur le Président.
Mr. Speaker, our government understands that this tax season is stressful for Canadians. We are continuing to be there for them throughout every step of the way. In February, we announced that those with emergency benefits would be entitled to tax relief in 2020. The agency put in place a solid system for tax relief to ensure that there would be no interest penalties if this was for reasons beyond their control. These measures will ensure that Canadians that need assistance during tax season will get that help. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
For Burnaby South.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It is clear that the lack of vaccine supply has resulted in thousands of vaccination appointments being cancelled and a slower rollout of the vaccination program across the country. This is directly the responsibility of the federal government, and they have failed. It gives me no pleasure to say this because Canadians want to get vaccinated. They simply can't because there is no dose available. will the Prime Minister admit that his government's failure to ensure we could produce the vaccine here in Canada is what led us to this mess?
The Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I want to emphasize that all Canadians at this time need to pull together to get through this third wave. For our part, the Government of Canada has already delivered 12.7 million doses to Canada. We have 8.9 million doses that have been administered in this country. We've accelerated 22 million doses from later quarters to earlier quarters. We are now third in the G20 in terms of the percentage of people with at least one dose. We'll continue to pull in millions of vaccinations. We'll provide them to the provinces and territories and assist them in whatever way we can, including with those low dead volume syringes that we have procured for the benefit of all.
Don't forget to like, dislike, subscribe, and comment. Safe Space Cafe. And always, have a good